Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, directed by George Miller and starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth, is a prequel to the Mad Max Fury Road. Snatched from the green place of many mothers, young Furiosa falls into the hands of a great biker horde led by the warlord Dementus. Sweeping through the Wasteland, they come across the Citadel. Presided over by Immortan Joe, as the two tyrants fight over dominance, Furiosa soon finds herself in a non-stop battle to make her way home. I went to go check out Mad Max Fury Road a day before I went to go see this film, and I was kicking myself for not seeing that film in theaters before I went to go see this. That movie is so damn good, so I knew I had to get my ass in the seat to go check this out in theaters and see it on the big screen. I'm happy to report that this movie's a banger. It's one of the best prequels I've ever seen, and one of the best prequels of all time in my opinion. It enhances Fury Road in every single way, which I didn't think was possible because that movie's
perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
But this movie pulled it off. It adds to all the characters that this movie shares with Fury Road, while also through the trials and tribulations that Furiosa goes through herself. So you see the character very, very differently. We have two actors here, Eliot Brown and Anya Taylor-Joy. They share responsibilities for playing Furiosa.
Furiosa! We've come too far.
Eliot Brown is young child Furiosa, and she does a great job and knocks it out of the park in this performance. She's in this movie a lot more than I expect. Almost half of the film she is Furiosa, but she does a great job of playing this silent character that doesn't have a lot of dialogue. She does really great with the action scenes that she has to take a part of, and a lot of it is in her eyes. You can see the devastation, the frustration, the anger in her. You understand what the child is going through at any time or any moment, and I really, really enjoyed her journey leading up to her becoming a young adult.
I'm Furiosa!
The darkest of angels.
So when years pass in this film and we lead into that transition from Eliot to Anya Taylor-Joy, it's seamless because Anya Taylor-Joy embodies all those things that Eliot was doing. The emotion, the piercing eyes, the frustration, the anger, the vengeance. You know everything that is going on in this character mind at all times just based off their face, because she doesn't have many lines, the character or the actors, many lines in this movie at all. But what is great about Anya Taylor-Joy's performance is because, you know, the young actress did a great job. She's just not continuing it and you have to compare them. She's also transitioning into taking some of the characteristics that Charlize Theron brought in Fury Road, so she really does feel like a middle ground character from the young child that we got into half of this movie and then the bigger older adult that we get into the next film that's supposed to be preceding this. So I really, really enjoyed her performance and how I feel like Anya Taylor-Joy is definitely someone that could be a certified action movie star. The way she performs the action and the stunts with so much precision, you understand everything about her and how resourceful the character is because how she performs the action. I always thought she was a badass throughout. I never broke immersion like, Anya Taylor-Joy's kind of small, she wouldn't be able to do that. They did a really, really great job of making her feel very, very dynamic in what she was doing. But Chris Hemsworth, this is one of the best performances this man has ever had. He was a scene stealer every time he was in the film. I absolutely loved him in this movie, from his exaggerated Australian accent to the way he moved from scene to scene, how his attitude changed as the years passed and we had different modes of this character, to the brilliant monologue that he has in this film that I think that you might get some award nominations, and all the different things that he did throughout the movie. I think he did a wonderful job playing and being this character Dementus. He was immaculate in the role. I think that I don't know if I could see anyone else playing this character and making it as iconic as he did. Another way this movie is a great prequel is because at Fury Road we spent a lot of time in the Citadel and on the actual Fury Road, but there was other places that we kind of saw off in the distance that they talked about that they didn't really go to. This movie expands all of those things, those locations that you're like, oh, I want to see what's going on over there. That looks cool. I was like, oh my God, look at that over there. And then we went there and it was so cool to do that. And it adds to the world that George Miller was building, but also to the story. It wasn't just the world build. It added to the story and really made the movie very interesting on multiple levels, because if you're a fan of Fury Road and you saw Bullet Farm and Gastown, you heard those words and you're wondering what they are, and then you get to see those things, it makes you happy in that way. But then also, if you don't even know what any of that stuff is, when you get there, it's just really, really intriguing and interesting to see what's going on in this post-apocalyptic world. But I gotta say, don't go looking for action comparable to Fury Road. That movie was always going to be hard to top. It's one of the best action movies of all time, in my opinion. And I think George Miller did a great job of doing action that felt kind of similar to what they were doing in Fury Road, but also still different. I think in Fury Road, we were learning the mechanics of the war rig and all these different things and how the action works in that movie. Here, he expects you saw Fury Road already, so he gets right into the action. He has so much dynamic things going on. This is still one of the best action movies that we've had this decade, and one of the best action movies, I think, of all time. I still think that even though this is not comparable to Fury Road, it's not as good. It's just a little bit of a step down, and I really, really enjoyed the action. It's thrilling, it's dynamic, it's intense, it feels nonstop, even though the action in this movie is a lot less than Fury Road's action. But it's just so many extended scenes of the action and how it keeps going and going and just keeps evolving. It just feels super dynamic and it engrosses you. One major criticism that a lot of people had for Fury Road is the lack of story. People felt like it was just like 2 hours of just action and not a lot of plot. While I don't totally 100% agree with that, I will say that Furiosa fixes that problem because the movie focuses way more on the plot than it does the action. This movie and the way George Miller put it together, it feels like a biblical epic, an odyssey spanning over decades, that is adapting a book and it reads and watches like a book. It feels like you're turning pages as you're watching this, because scene to scene it will just fade out and then go into the next scene, like you just finished a chapter and you're going to the next chapter, which is really funny because this movie is separated into chapters. It really feels like something that you would read in a Bible or something like that, and a lot of the quotables make it feel like that as well. There's this mythical feeling here where it feels like we're hearing a story about something that happened in the past, and we're getting told the version that this person who's telling the story knows, and he's reading it from a book. That's how the movie feels to me. But while it does that, the scope is still huge. It's bigger than Fury Road, but somehow the movie still feels intimate with its characters, where it's spending time with them, and we spend a lot of time with characters in certain moments, where I know a lot of people I see say that they felt kind of bored in certain moments, but I was so invested in the movie and what was happening, I wanted to see every aspect that they were going to go through, and I think they did a really, really great job of mixing the mythology with the biblical epicness, with the intimate moments, with the scope, all of it tied in together.
First, we need to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Francine.
A lot of people, when this movie was initially revealed through trailers and posters and screenshots, people were looking at the VFX and CGI. I was like, whoa, this kind of looks a little wonky. And I gotta say that 90% of the VFX and CGI in the film look great. And while it does look weird sometimes, I think it's a stylistic choice by George Miller, and not that the VFX is not done. There are some shots of VFX CGI that's like that 10% where it's like, oh, that's a little janky, but that's far and few between. It's not like it's through the whole movie or even throughout the whole movie. It's like only a certain section. And I think that I appreciate the choice because the way the story was being put together. It has this hazy, dreamlike feel throughout the film, which to me made sense. It's supposed to be feeling like this mythological story that we're watching. I can see it turning off some people, but it worked for me. And lastly, I highly recommend, if you're gonna go check this movie out, watch Fury Road before you did it. Even if you saw it before, if you saw it when it originally came out or watched it a couple years ago, watch it again before you watch this film. I think I had a great appreciation because I just watched Fury Road before watching this. So a lot of the things that they were going for in this film, I really, really understood and loved, because they were filling in gaps. They were calling back to a lot of things that happened in Fury Road. There was Easter eggs, there's character moments and different things that really have really great connective tissue. This movie is going to be great to watch back to back with Fury Road. But if you're someone that hasn't seen it in a long time or have never seen it, I think that the movie won't have as much impact. I don't know if this movie stands on its own 2 feet if you just watch it as this independent installment without ever seeing Fury Road. Because I had a friend who came to watch it with me, and he's never seen any of the Mad Max movies, and he did not care for the film like that. He said that the movie didn't do a good enough job of helping him get invested in the characters, and I can definitely see that. If I was automatically invested in Furiosa because I knew the character and where she was and how cool she was from Fury Road, I don't know how invested I would have been into the story and everything that was going on if I didn't see Fury Road, because there's certain characters and weird things about this film that if you don't know the world, it might throw you off. So I would definitely say check out Fury Road before you go see this movie. But yeah, I had a great time with this film. I think this is one of the best films of the year. I really loved it. I definitely want to go see it again, and then make sure I go buy it on physical. And I'm definitely going to do a double feature with Fury Road down the road. So yeah, I'm going to give this movie a B+. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate Fury Road, a Mad Mess Saga? Did you hate it to the most, like, you like this was some 2 hours and 20 minutes of bull crap, or do you think it's one of the best movies of the year? Drop all the comments down below and let me know. Like the video if you like my review, attack that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you know for my reviews, reactions, live discussions, and much more. You can watch more content right now.